Hello, 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 and welcome to another show of Creating Your Desired Life with me, your host, Dr. Esther Graham. I'm so super excited that you have made the choice, the decision to join me again today. Thank you. I don't take it for granted. And so today we have have a wonderful guest, and we're going to be speaking today about the wealthy woman. And what does a wealthy woman look like? And really, we're going to focus on a time for rediscovery and growth. This is the season for rediscovery and growth. So I'm super excited to have this conversation with all of you today, because as we continue to live our lives, right? There's always opportunities for us to grow. But here it is. Many times we have to go and rediscover herself. And I just want to, I remember years ago when I had to go on this path of rediscovery. And I reference years ago, but ever so often, we have to go on a path of rediscovery and, let's say, redesigning and really growing. We never want to stay and have a fixed mindset, because that limits everything we're doing. I remember when I knew it was time for me to go back and rediscover who I am, what I wanted. I was at a different stage in my life. And I thought, you know what? There's more to life than this. And how can I get to that more? That's when I really came up with a program that I wrote called Created for More, because I realized that I was created for more, but I just didn't know how to get there. And so I had to go inward and had to rediscover who I am, rediscover, what is it I really want? What are my values? What does my surrounding look like? And I had to begin to think about, who am I around? And are the people that I'm around, are they motivating me? Are they pushing me forward? Or are they stagnant? Or have I outgrown them? Sometimes those are difficult conversations to have, especially when you're used to life a certain way and you're used to being around people or an environment all the time. And you look and you say, what's wrong with me? But could it be that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you? Could it be it's your time to grow? You're outgrowing. And that's what I discovered. I'm going to say probably about 15 years ago, maybe 20, dating myself, right? Dating myself. That I really went on this path of rediscovery, because I realized that I was created for more. There was more for me, and I needed to live that more life. I needed to live a life of growth. I wanted to broaden my horizon. And so I went on this path of rediscovery. And I think this is what I love about the conversation and my guest today, who has been on a path of rediscovery and growth, who has developed, it's more than a program. I'm going to say I have her talk about a lifestyle of the wealthy woman. And what I love about it is that it so aligns with everything I believe and everything I teach. And so today I want you to grab your journals, grab your pens, because you're going to get some nuggets that you're going to be able to jot it down and really apply it immediately to your life, especially if you're that person, you're that human that's saying, I am on this path and I don't know what's going on, but I know that I need to go into some rediscovery. I need to rediscover who I am and what is it that I want. And I now need to grow. I need to set myself on a path of not just regular growth, but exponential growth. It's possible. It can happen. It happened to me. And I know if it happened to me, it can happen to you. It happened to my special guest. And I'm going to read her bio, and then we're going to bring her on. So Deborah Fleming Bradley is a public relations professional who encourages people to jumpstart their entrepreneurial spirit, from startups, existing, or relaunching companies. She has successfully shown her clients how to win with their God-given talents. Deborah holds a bachelor's degree in public relations marketing from the University of South Carolina, School of Journalism and Mass Communication with a minor in Spanish. She currently serves as a member of the National Association of Black Journalists, Colorcom, and the Public Relations Society of America. Through continued education, Deborah received a certificate of completion from Crisis Management through the Public Relations Society of America and the Lisa Nichols Certified Transformational Trainer Program. Excellent program. In addition, she has co-authored Unleash Your Undeniable Impact with public speaker and trainer Dr. Cheryl Woods and the renowned motivational speaker Les Brown. And she is also featured in Courageous Woman magazine of 2021 and Young Black Entrepreneur magazine in 2022. Born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina, Deborah is proudly married to Donald Bradley, 28 years and counting, and a mother of 4 adult children, Brandon, Brian, Bryce, and Brooke. She resides in Atlanta, Georgia. Everyone, just let's welcome in Deborah Fleming Bradley.
Thank you so much, Dr. Esther Graham, for that introduction. Every time when you hear yourself, someone talking about you,
Yeah.
Right in front of you on that, it just builds up such strong emotion and it builds up that confidence. And you're like, oh, wow, I am that person.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad to have you in my life as that person too, because when you just talked about that alignment right here, I'm going to tell you one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my transformation was meeting you. So I thank you for having me today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. One of the best things that's ever happened to me in my transformation as well as meeting you. So it's very reciprocal. And I think that's the power of relationships. Many times we're in relationships that we're always giving, but we're never receiving back. And so it's wonderful, to be in a relationship to where it's reciprocal. We give and we receive back. And so thank you for, agreeing to come on. I'm so excited with what you have to share. I want to begin by you first speaking about what is the wealthy woman. I just absolutely listen. I wish I would have come up with the wealthy woman before you.
Well, you did. It's just that, look, that marketing background that both you and I have, Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the wealthy woman, it came about because a lot of women that I've met and been surrounded with, we had no issues, like financial issues.
Yeah.
Other issues were, our relationships and, who we wanted to be, the different circles, the different stages of life. So it wasn't about money. The wealthy woman is definitely not money. It does have a financial component in it, but it's because the person already has that. And they've, accomplished so many things in life. And then one day they wake up and they're like, wait a minute, what is next? I've had all this financial success, but what about the other areas in my life, like my relationships, my spirituality? Where does life go from here now that I've completed just about every goal that I put in my life to get here?
Mm-hmm.
How do I get to there? And I was kind of shocked to find out there were a lot of women like me that were going through the same thing, and, we talk about those circles and growth and everything. And that's when it started happening. I was like, okay, something's changing about me. I need to figure it out. So let's start talking about it and having, other people around you so you can figure out, why is this happening to me at this stage? I thought I was happy, but no, I could really be happier. I thought this relationship was this, but what can I do more to make it more fulfilled? So it was just a lot of things that I was personally going through. And then I met some women who were going through the same thing. And I said, it's time for me to get this out, not just for other women, but to help me too, through all the greatness that was being bestowed upon me, because this doesn't happen a lot in a lot of families where you attain, extreme amounts of wealth financially in your life. And you're just like, you're the first.
Yeah.
And, and like one of our good friends says, you're the never, ever was. So who do I follow? No, you don't follow anyone. You're the one.
You're the one. You're the one.
You're the one. There's no one to follow here. So you have to, put yourself in a place, in a position where you surround yourself with those circles, and find out why you are growing out of other circles and jumping into knowing what is happening here and why does it happen.
And it's funny because, you know, that was me totally as well. And so you begin to feel uncomfortable, don't you? You begin to
Yeah.
feel like, is something wrong with me?
Hmm.
I'm not enjoying this. I don't like this doesn't feel good to me anymore. Yeah, and when you begin to feel that, you really begin to look at what's going on with me. And I think that's what happened, and realizing, okay, this is great, but there's much more to life than this.
Yes. And that's one of the first signs.
Yeah.
One of the first
Yeah.
signs is, first, you would think that everybody else is changing on you. And you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I don't like the way he or she is acting, but they've always acted that way. There's
Yeah.
nothing that has changed about them. I don't like the way we move anymore in
Yeah.
this relationship. Why is he acting that way?
Yeah.
No, it is never actually that person, because they're going on living their lives the best way that they know how to live it. What is happening is that you are starting to grow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you thought that you have already grown because of your successes, it's not necessarily true. In every corner, every crevice of your life, there is room for growth. And what happens to you, and I know personally what happened for me, was I realized that I was growing, and the things that I used to like and enjoy were different now. I didn't enjoy those things because it was time to grow out of that. I've grown out of that. I naturally grew out of it. And I looked up one day and was like, why am I not enjoying this anymore?
Yeah.
Why don't I want to be in this circle anymore? What is happening? And it is me. I am growing, and I have to learn to accept that it happens. And sometimes it is for the best for you. And a lot of us don't
Mhm.
realize. Sometimes people, they're scared of growth
Yeah.
because they think everything is going to change around them, but you're changing. So it's already happening. And there's really nothing that you can do about it except to accept it and put it in your court and how you want that trajectory to go for you.
Yeah. And I think that's key is recognizing it's that you're changing. And so where do you want to go with this?
Yes. Yeah.
And you're in control of that. One of the things that I love, so Deborah, everyone, has a news letter that she, you know, connect to her email. Her newsletters are powerful. And one of the newsletters that came out is that your season of self-discovery and growth. And I absolutely loved it because, this is the season for self-discovery and growth. This is the season I called, like, my conference I call it, it's time to re-up.
Yes.
It's the season for re-up. And in other words, this is time for you to up level. It's time for you to grow. It's time for you to do these things. In other words, don't stay stagnant. And so in your article, your season of self-discovery and growth, first of all, you put this quote on there. It says, even if we don't have the power to choose where we come from, we can still choose where we go from there. Um, Stephen, and I'm not sure, Bosky
Hmm.
said that. And even if we don't have the power, even if we can't choose where we come from, and
Yes.
we can't, we do have the power to choose to where we go from there. And so you began, your season of self-discovery and growth. So tell us, what does that look like?
I can tell you, have you ever just sat in a room or you were somewhere and something dropped in your spirit? you know, Something that you have been thinking about or wishing would happen for you, but you didn't know how to go about getting it because you didn't have the blueprint or the path,
Hmm.
to follow someone to get it. And what it does to you, and as I said in our article, it doesn't leave you. What is this that's dropping in my spirit? I don't know what's going on right now, but it's making me feel kind of crazy on the inside, where that you're just like, you can't shake it,
Yeah, yeah,
and it keeps coming into you and it drops out of nowhere. It was never on your radar, Esther. It was never
yeah,
on your radar that
yeah.
this happened to you at this place at this time. Here, I was looking for this, but is this what I was actually looking for? And I can tell you that we all come from different backgrounds. We come from different, areas, countries, you name it. We all are different from where we come from. Some of us good situations, some of us not so good situations, but it's okay, because as we get to this stage in life, I remember one of our mentors told us one time, a lot of the stuff that happens to us in our childhood and when we're growing up starts to show up in our adulthood.
Mhm.
And
Always,
there's
yeah.
some things that I just didn't want to show up in my adulthood. And I didn't want to revert to that childlike behavior in my adulthood with other adults too.
Yeah.
So what is happening to me? It's a gift that's being dropped into you that I call it spiritual, my
Mhm.
spiritual deposit, where it is happened to you. You have prayed about it. You just didn't know what form or how it was going to come to you.
Yeah.
And you do hear a voice. For people who do not believe in that voice, you do hear a voice that tells you to move,
Yes, you
go,
do.
what you've been looking for. No, it didn't come and glitter and the shiny way
And
that you wanted it to come.
ooh, it just didn't come.
Yes, because it's up to you to sharpen the iron, to blast it and to make it into the form of what you always vision.
Yeah.
Sometimes people think that, and I used to think this, that it didn't come in the pretty package that I wanted it to come into.
Yeah.
So maybe this is not for me, but it's not true. You get the gift dropped into your spirit, and it's up to you to create what you asked for, because nothing in your life is given to you. You have to make it what you want to make it. And so that's where that quote comes from. When I
Yeah.
was given this gift of life, that I couldn't choose how I came into the world,
Yeah.
on that. But now that I'm here and I'm of well bearings and well being, what am I going to do with this life? How I'm going to make it more purposeful? And so when I saw that quote, I was like, we all should be taking our steps, to being greater, no matter how great we think we are. We should help improve others' lives as well as we're improving ours. And there's never a stopping point to that. It
Yeah.
never stops.
Yeah, I love that. It never, we're always in the place of growth. And you said something, you said when you really begin to feel uncomfortable, and it's when like, you can't sleep, you wake up thinking about it. It's you try to leave it, but you can't. It just comes out of nowhere. And you're like, yeah, this wasn't even on my radar. And that means that, lean into it.
Yes, yes. And
You
it,
know,
it causes so much disruption
yeah, so
in
much.
your life and who you're speaking to, how you speak to people, where they will start to notice something is different about her. Something's different
Yeah,
about him. He's not playing this game of life the way that he used to play with us now. So what is happening here? And it's just simply growth.
yeah.
I have outgrown the things that I came into the world with, and now I get to control how I want to leave this world.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
your steps are ordered, but how do you want them to be, going forward?
It's like we were born, and of course, then we transition. And what
Mhm.
do we do with that dash in between? You know,
Yes,
how we live our life. Is it purposeful? Is it intentional? Are you leaning into those uncomfortable moments that could really be serving you? It's like one of our mentors said, it's that many times it's the gift wrapped in sandpaper. We many
yes,
times expect things to come. It's going to be boom. Oh yeah. No, sometimes it's it comes in sandpaper.
yes.
It doesn't
It
have the
is
pretty
rough.
packaging.
Yeah,
It's
it
rough,
is
but it's
rough
that gift.
because
Yeah.
sometimes you have that one foot into who you used to be and
Yes,
the foot to who you want to be, and then you're straddling the fence and you can't
yes,
move. And then that's why they're like, why am I stuck? Because you are afraid to jump over the fence fully and whole and complete, and the fear of what's on the other side, because you don't know. The fear of the unknown is a very powerful
yeah,
thing. It can definitely mess with your mind. And
yeah,
when you think that you have to be ready, I wasn't ready for all the life changes that were going to happen to me with, having my first child, going having four children.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
from a child getting very sick and almost losing a child, different phases of life, graduating from high school, going to college. I mean, different things that happen, getting married, life choices. It's just so many things that happen during the course of your life that you weren't expecting it to go the way that you want it to go. And even if it was in a positive direction, you're like,
yeah,
wow, I wasn't really, expecting that too. So that's why one of the other things that I always talk about is the sustainable relationships, because
yeah.
there's some people that are going to be going through it with you, and it's not necessarily always your blood family. I always talk
That's
about,
right.
you are my sister in success, Esther. And I always tell everyone, you got to have those people around you who understand what you're going through,
Yeah,
They're not going to judge you for the decisions that you're making because they know that what you're doing is to make a better you in it. And it may not be the way that you would want it to have happen, but it works for the person who's trying to make the change so that person can be better for everybody that is going with them on the journey too as
Yeah.
well.
So true, so true, so true. And then, many times we look to our family, we look
Mhm.
and that's not even their role.
Mhm.
They're not sometimes going to understand because they're not for not criticizing, but they're not where you are, or some of your friends aren't where you are. And so you have to really recognize where you are and what is it that you need to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And such a mental challenge. That's why we always talk about, stay ready. What they say,
Yeah. Yeah.
get ready so you can
Get
stay
ready, stay
ready.
ready. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how that saying goes, it really can mess with you mentally
Yeah.
because you don't want to disappoint anybody. But the person you should be worried about disappointing is yourself for not taking those
For
steps
not taking
forward.
the steps.
Yeah, we're always worried about everybody around us, but you are the center of
Yeah.
that. When you make a choice that you want to have that wealthy lifestyle, and like I said,
Mhm.
not the finances, the wealthy lifestyle where you feel full spiritually, you feel full in your mental and your physical health. When you feel full, in your relationships, it's just one of those things where you're just like, okay, it's
Yeah.
centered all around me. It's just a revolving circle. What can I change in this revolving circle, or how can I make the old circle stop so I
Yeah.
can jump into the new one? And a lot of times people are always worried about how it's going to affect
Yeah.
everybody else in their life when they're trying to make a change. So they won't do it because they're afraid that they're going to lose a person. But
Yeah.
we all know that nine out of 10 times, you're not going to actually lose that person. You just change and you have to handle that person differently. And it's
Differently.
okay. It's okay.
I,
Yeah.
I like to call it uh when you're moving, we could live a life because I base it on one of my favorite books. But when uh we could live a life, we could live the abundant life, and then which is just living. But
Yes.
then we could cross that comma, right, and then live more abundantly. In other words, we could be happy with, but cross the comma and
Mhm.
don't be afraid and live that more abundant life. That abundant life, while it is inclusive of money, but it's everything. It's your
Yeah.
spiritual deposits, it's your sustainable relationships, it's all of that, that it's
Mhm.
your growth.
Yes.
It's everything. And when you make a decision to do that, you'll find that every parts of your life comes together. You become that whole person, that
Yes.
whole woman.
Yes.
you know
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean that you don't have challenges, but it
Thank
just means that you know
you.
how to handle your challenges. You have the tools. You're just at a place to where, okay, I'm not going to go like overboard on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know what I love about it? Because once you've conquered, those challenges and things that are going to happen, you handle them better too.
Oh
When you're in
yeah.
that healthy mindset, you handle everybody different. You handle whatever room you walk into differently. And what starts to happen, and you'll hear it too. And this is another sign when you're trying to into that growth, when you walk into a room, there's going to be like a glow. There's going to be something about you, your presence will
Yes.
dominate the room. Even if people know who you are, it still puts them in awe, like, okay, I want
Yeah.
some of that. What is
Yeah.
that she's
Yeah.
got going on with her? Because I need that today because I wanna feel like that too when I walk into a room.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. It's a glow. And then have you ever had it to where people say, you're just different?
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
And I love that. And I love that. And when people ask me, well, how are you doing? I am doing great.
Great. Yeah.
I am doing great because I've aligned my steps in the way that I want to now because I have control of my life and the way that I want it to go. And like you said, there's going to be challenges because there're going to be people who are not going to understand that, but it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
it's okay. They don't have to because it's not even their job, right? So
right.
one of the things that you wrote, and it says, in every curve and corner of life, we all experience a season of self-discovery and growth, a deep exploration of yourself to identify goals that motivate confidence when confronting difficult situations that may arise. That's
Yes.
powerful.
Yes, yes. I just want to say on that one of my goals when I was working on my wealthy women principles was I needed to get my physical together,
Yeah.
and everything like that. I already went to a doctor. They looked at my blood work. They told me what I needed to do. You need to lose 30 pounds and all of that, right? That confidence in knowing what I need to do and how to do it has built a little beast in me where y'all, I like working out and,
Yeah.
You're going to see me on my Peloton. You're going to see me doing those things because that is what, when I can walk into the room and know that my physical is there, because the mental is always going to be there. My spirituality is going to be in there. I wear the armor of God when I walk
Yeah.
through any door. So
Yeah.
bring it on. I'm just ready. I'm
Yeah.
ready for anything that may happen. And I'm physically ready to as well to make whatever move I need to make in life. But one move I'm not going to make is going backwards.
We're not going back.
Yes.
we're we're not, and that's so true. We're not going back. I love what you said. You put on the whole armor of God. You know who you are, and you walk in with power. And I think that is just so key. And so when the challenges come, anything comes, you are prepared and you are ready. It doesn't destroy you.
Yes.
It
Yes.
doesn't destroy
Yes. And
you.
no one can do anything to change how I'm feeling that day.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's knowing who you are as the wealthy woman. It's knowing who
Yes.
you are. So it says here, you also said it's possible that that your shift is your growth. You kind of expounded on that a little. Then you said, here's a few things I learned and still use after I went through a life of transformation.
Yeah.
Number one, ask yourself, what do you want and change, and write it down.
Yes. If you don't write it down, it's never a plan.
Yeah.
People can talk about what they want to do, but if it's written down, it's not a plan. And I don't say it has to be organized like, hey, I'm going to do this step by
Yeah.
step. Just write down a simple list of what you want to change. What don't you like in your life and what that you want to change?
But you want to write it down. Then
Mhm.
number two, you said your spiritual environment. Believing in myself, you said, like I believe in God. Oh man. Because many times people will say, well, I believe in God, but do you believe in yourself? Because
Mm-mm.
God already believes in you.
Yes. And if you're an image of him, there should be no self-doubt. We always think about, we can second guess ourselves sometimes, which is
Yeah,
fine. That
that's
is human
normal.
to second guess yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
But if it is put in front of you, there's a reason because he knows that you can do it. You just have to stop worrying about the judgment of man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Stop worrying about the judgment of man and let God do his work. He wouldn't put it in front of you. You couldn't.
That's right. That's right. And then sustainable, you kind of talked about that, but talk a little bit more about sustainable because relationships, sustainable, powerful, key.
Yes. Okay. So I'll start off with friendships real quickly
Yeah.
with you. Friends are going to come and go on your journey. Not everyone is meant to go with you, Esther. Not
Yeah.
anyone is meant to
Yeah.
go with you on every step. The ones that do stay with you through that is your family.
Yeah.
The people who give you that time and the years and sweat, no matter what, that is the sustainable relationship that I adore when you have that kind of friendship that goes on with you. And then another one could be your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, congratulations to you and John on what, 36?
36 and counting.
Yeah, years. And my husband and I are going on 30 years in November.
Yeah.
And I always say this, it is not easy in remaining, sustaining a relationship and
Yeah.
everything. But the thing is that when you are allowing yourself to grow and change, and you also allow that person, whether it's your partner or a friend, to allow them to grow and change, it shouldn't be offensive to you that they're making changes in their life because they're trying to do better. They're not trying to detract or negate from what you built over the
Yeah.
years. It's so
Yeah.
that everybody has their time and we won't be on the same time. That's the crazy thing about it. That's why there's a little bit of friction when that's happening because, well, why are you doing that now? Well, something happened to me that said I needed to make a change. I need to do it now. God is ordering my steps saying, hey, this is not working for you
Yeah. Yeah.
anymore. And so you have to allow that spouse or that friend to make their changes too. And sometimes we'll make a mistake of letting someone go for years because we didn't understand why we were making a change and we didn't help them understand why you were making a change. So you let it go. But the great thing about a sustainable relationship, if it's meant to be, you can go back and get that person.
Yeah.
You can go back and get them,
Yeah. And
and
you'll know if it's meant to be.
Mhm.
Yeah, you'll know because, people are in your life some are in your life for a season and some are in your life for life. And you'll know the lifers. The mistake many times that we make is we try to make the seasonal people lifers. And so that's when you
Ah,
said, you can't take them with you. We try to make the seasonal people lifers when they're just seasonal. I've been
yes,
guilty of that.
yes,
And that is
yes.
not good. You have to recognize.
Yes, and just like you were
Yeah.
talking about the season of self-discovery, rediscovery,
Yeah.
I'm always saying September is just one of those months where I think it's a great month to start planning for your next year. Whatever
Yes.
the next year is coming, to go ahead and own it right now and start your plan and writing down what changes you want to make, what improvements that you want to make. Don't
Yes.
wait to the beginning of the year to start it. Start doing it now. And those people who are in that season, you don't know if they're going to be in that plan. It's just that when you start revealing your plan, that's when you'll know if they're seasonal or lifers.
Or
You know,
lifers.
and you have to be prepared. This may not go over well
Yeah.
for some of
That's
these
right.
people. And that's when you know this is who I'm going to make an acquaintance, but no,
Mhm.
this is the person that's going to be the lifelong.
That's right. That's right. Uh, Physical and mental health. Now, one of the things you said is that your goal was to lose 30 pounds. And I remember when you talk about physical and how you look, your appearance is so important. That's so,
Mhm,
many times we throw that aside, but no, it's important. And when I read that, and I thought about myself, Deborah, when I set a goal to lose 50 pounds.
mhm,
And this was, I want to say 13 years ago, maybe.
mhm.
But I haven't gained that back. But that
Yeah.
was so important to me for my
Yeah.
health,
Yes.
for my health,
Yes.
and my physical health and my mental health.
Yeah, it actually puts me in a peaceful state of mind, knowing that
Mhm.
I'm doing something to, what do you call it, to elongate my life, to make my
Mhm.
life, extend my life. For that, a lot of people don't know, just a couple of seconds of doing something adds seconds to your life, of some
Yeah.
kind of physical movement, and what it does to your mental. It provides clarity, it provides discipline in your life, because once you see it working, you want more of that. And then you'll be like, okay, before we do this and this and that, I got to go and get that 30-minute run in, or I need to go do a 15-minute walk. It actually puts your life in control. The one
Yeah.
thing you can control in your life is your physical and your mental,
Mhm.
on that. So yes, it gives me a peaceful state of mind. So that's one of my favorite with the physical and mental health. I want to lose the weight, and I've done it before.
Oh
I've
yeah.
back. It's had its ups and downs, and now I'm back on track, and I
Yeah.
feel amazing.
Yeah. And the thing about it I think when it comes to our physical, I think it's always, because it's life. But as
It's
long as you set your goals and you stay focused on living that healthy life and feeling good about who you are as a person, then you continue on that path. I mean, since I lost the 50, really I lost a total of 60. I've gained some pounds back. Of course I have. But I know my body and I know that, okay, well, I've gone too far. Let me now not eat that cookie or two, So
yeah,
last but not least, you said, as I go through the curves of life, I am learning that I am ever changing.
yes, yes. I
Oh,
have to say about that, I'm never stuck or stagnant, you
yeah.
know, on that, because I know that there are going to be roadblocks presented before me, but I have to know how to pivot and go around them. And, it's just like, if your mind is stable,
Yeah.
and when I say stable, I mean clear. Clear. You always see the path of how to get over or to go under something
Mhm.
that is trying to block you from getting what you want and what you want to attain. So that's very important to
Yeah.
me.
And
Yeah.
and and it goes back, my husband, when especially, when men would sometimes in sessions would say, well, she's changed. And he always says, of course. I said, he always says, you wouldn't want somebody to stay stagnant. You want change to happen because
Yeah.
changing shows growth.
Yes. Yes. And a lot of people, it's hard for them to make that change. I've learned it in
Yeah.
business too, as well.
Yeah.
When you have to make things, sometimes it is a painful process for people to make the change. But if you have that goodness of, just opening your heart and open up your arms to receive it, it feels different.
Yeah.
For you, and you understand it better. You have the clarity to understand, why am I moving this way? Because there's something bigger than you. There's something bigger than us that is
Yeah.
out there for you, but you can't receive it if you keep holding on to what was.
Yeah, you cannot receive it if you're holding on to what was, to hold it on to the past. You really have to forget the
Mhm.
past, let it go, and move forward.
Yeah.
So, Deborah, as we close, I want you to share about your event that's coming up, and then just give. We're about to go into a minute of self-reflection, and so just give. What would you like to leave our audience with?
I want to leave our audience with this, that you know, when we think about being wealthy, always remember it's mostly internal. The finances of it, it will come. If you're doing everything within you to
Yeah.
be a well-rounded person in
Yes.
every area, every aspect of your life, money flows, wealth flows, you pass it on to others, philanthropy. There's a lot of things that being wealthy involves for
Yes.
that. And we just want to make sure that people have an understanding. A lot of wealthy people that you see out there that are making a lot of money, no matter what you see them do, whether it's celebrity or whatever, right? And you see them being abundantly blessed, it's because they're doing something right on the inside
Yes.
of them, and we don't see it. Even when you see mistakes and big things that are happening to them that may not be favorable
Yeah.
towards them, they would not be attaining that if it wasn't something inside of them that came out to do that. So
Yes.
let's also be forgiving of ourselves, that wealthy people do make mistakes,
Yes. That's right.
and we're not, perfect
That's
for
right.
that. And so, yes, I have my Wealthy Woman Deposits event that's coming up mid-November. I have a couple of speakers. You participated in this event for me last
It's
year, and I
great.
was
It's a great event. Great
with
event.
deposits and everything. And so it's coming up, and I like to say this to a lot of people. When you are surrounded by other wealthy people in mind, body, and soul, it changes you so many ways, spiritually, your mental, your physical. It changes you because that's where peace lies.
Yes. Yes. So
That's where
true.
peace lies and everything. So, for any of you who are interested in attending or would just like to follow me, the website is deborahflemingbradley.com. All the information is there for you to take a look at it. We're only taking 50 women for this event because it is an intimate setting for that. And we do a lot of one-on-ones. A lot of transformational coaching goes on in this process. And you're going to hear from like-minded women just like you, that all their issues, all their complaints, all the things that are happening to them, and then you're going to experience all the blessings that have been bestowed upon us too as well. So we invite you to take a look at that and see if it's something for you.
When's the dates exactly in November?
Hey, look, I have to look up the date. Look, because it's coming
That's
up so quickly. It is coming up on November. I want to say November the 16th, but the
okay.
actual virtual part that is coming up. Look, y'all have to stick with me on this. My mind, my body, we're going through this. But the event is coming up. And what's so crazy about this? I was texting everybody yesterday that was participating in it. It is coming up on, y'all pardon me for this.
That's all right.
Yeah, November 14th through the 16th is 2 days are virtual that people can participate. So you can be in your home and you can watch it from there and see all the speakers for that. And then if you're a VIP person on that Saturday the 16th, the event, we have a private luncheon that will not be recorded. It's for women to come in who actually want the face-to-face interaction with
Yeah.
some of the wealthy women that did speak during that the 2 day virtual. And so you get the one-on-one with that, and you get the networking experience with that. We're going to have a beautiful brunch lunch thing happening, and some spiritual movement in that, some relaxation techniques. We have a wellness nurse that'll be in the house. So just some beautiful things that'll be happening where you can come together with women with you and be in a safe environment, where it's just for you and only you.
Sounds wonderful. So everyone, make sure that we will be posting the information, but make sure that you connect. And if you could be there, even if you can't be there in person, make sure that you connect virtually, because let me tell you, it will be absolutely life changing for you. It's a season of growth. It's a season of rediscovery. It's a season of re-upping,
Yeah.
your life. Thank you so much, Deborah, for joining us. We're going to go in for a second of self-reflection. So thank you so much, y'all. Let's celebrate her and thank her so much for coming in and dropping those deposits. Dropping those deposits.
God bless her.
Thank you. So we're going to go into just a moment of self-reflection. Deborah shared a lot with us. And so grab your journal and just take, a little bit less than a minute and just reflect. I want you to write down, where are you right now? And where is it that you want to go? Begin to see yourself as that wealthy woman. Where are you right now? And where is it that you would like to go? Let's just go into some self-reflection. All right. Hope you've just taken a moment. Listen, you just because our self-reflection or that mindful moment stops does not mean that you stop. So make sure that you get to your secret place and you jot down, where is it that you are right now? Where is it that you want to go? What is it that you want to do? And listen, this will be on replay, connect on YouTube. Tune into the TV station and make sure that you listen to this over and over again so you can get the nuggets and really begin to make whatever changes that you need to make in your life. Let's go into our quote, which is a powerful quote that I absolutely love. A wealthy woman, this is your weekly quote to guide you through the week for you to meditate also on this quote. A wealthy woman is one who uses her resources to make a difference, not just in her own life, but in the lives of others. I want to say it again. A wealthy woman is one who uses her resources. What are your resources? To make a difference. What's the difference that you're making? Not just in your own life, right? Because you make the changes in your life first, but then in the lives of others. When you begin to work on you, when you begin to see yourself as a wealthy woman, then you can now pour it out and help others transform, help others change their lives, help others become wealthy women as well. And let me just really quickly go into a question. I thought maybe I should answer this question, but maybe not. But I think this goes into exactly what we're speaking of today. This question is from Ruth Myers from Florida. And she says, how do you balance your personal life with your professional responsibilities? I think we answered some of that, but listen, how do you balance it? I believe in harmony. So how do you bring your life in harmony, right? You look at the principles that we just spoke to you about, but you also do, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Set a plan, schedule. I hate to say it like this, but it works. Schedule your plan out so you can bring harmony between your professional life and your personal life. You don't have to sacrifice one for the other. You could really bring it into harmony, but it does begin with scheduling. Think about what you want and where do you feel like if your life is out of harmony in your profession and in your personal, and then schedule a time. I'll give you an example. I have grand loves. I schedule my time with my grand loves. My husband and we have a scheduled date night. We put things on the schedule. I put my deep dive time. I schedule my morning meditation, my morning prayers. All of that is in a schedule. And this is how I bring my life into harmony. And then my professional, I have everything scheduled out. And so that is exactly how you want to do. Begin to schedule things out. A quick story. Years ago when my husband had things scheduled, I kind of got upset with him. And I said, you got me on a schedule? And I was really quite offended by that. And then I realized later, as I rediscovered and as I grew, that wait a minute, the scheduling works because then I won't have my life out of harmony. Then I make sure that I spend that personal time with me, for me, with God, with my family, and then the time in my professions to build my business as well. So that is exactly how you do it. Begin with scheduling that time out. So good to be with you guys today. I just want to share a couple things with you. Our Life by Design retreat is coming up. Marriage Enrichment Retreat is coming up December 11th through the 15th in Scottsdale, Arizona. Listen, connect, go on my Facebook page, go on to my YouTube, subscribe to that, and you'll see all of the information of what's going on in the Creating Your Desired Life by Design community. We've got a lot of powerful things going on, but one of the things that's coming up more is our Marriage Enrichment Retreat. Wherever you are in your marriage, this Marriage Enrichment Retreat is for you. December 11th through the 15th in Scottsdale, Arizona. Everything will be posted. And if you're interested, make sure that you get the information and decide to come. It's a small group. We only have, as of right now, 4 slots left. So don't take too long. Make sure that you register to come. Take care. I enjoyed being with you. Thank you so much to our very special guest, Deborah Bradley, for our conversation on the wealthy woman and rediscovering, the time for rediscovery and growth. We appreciate you, Deborah. We love you all, everyone. Make sure that you share this, share all this information. Make sure you connect. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I love all of you. God bless you and have a great week on purpose. Bye.